said talk to me, damn it, or else I'm gonna throw you in the fire!
You stupid bitch! You filthy... Flyover state of fear. Welcome back to Flyover State of Fear. I know, it's either been some time or not enough time. I don't know when you're listening. I don't know when you're watching. But
We don't
hi,
even know what
Brian.
order these are going to come out. I'm going to
Who
force
knows?
an episode in if we don't have it. Like, I'm going to wedge one
I
in.
don't know. I've been terrible.
I'm going to do it.
I've been a terrible producer, creator. Brian, how are you?
This is so self, this masturbatory. We're just out here doing it for ourselves.
I
Anyway,
literally
so.
right before we had a podcast, before we started recording, I saw a TikTok. There was like a guy who's popped up before that's pretty funny, but it was like, what if me and my buddies start a podcast and we talk about movies? And occasionally we always agree, but occasionally we're always like maybe we joke. But if there's a black person in it, we're a little more serious to talk about it. And I'm like, oh my God, he's nailed the formula.
Yeah, I was like, oh
It was
no,
a really
they
funny
cracked
sketch.
the code.
It was a really funny sketch, and I was like, damn, I am literally going to do that right now.
Yep. Well, yeah, we could talk about a different kind of spoiler warning for today's movie. It's not talk more seriously because it has a minority in it. It's acknowledge the fact that this movie deals with mostly female beauty standards, and
It's all it
we
does.
may not be as qualified to talk about that. I mean,
Yeah.
we're the people who make people have eating disorders. We don't have the eating disorder.
But this one, it's the Ugly Stepsister of 2005. Yeah, nothing we're doing is going to cause it, but also it's so on the nose, even no pun intended, that I don't think we can do anything to
No,
make it
like I'm saying, it's not like it's hiding what it's about. I mean, but I just mean, maybe in a perfect world we would have a woman on once in a while. But you know what? They don't
we
want to do
used
it.
to.
They don't want to do it.
I actually think if you looked at all of our guests, they're disproportionately all probably more women than men I had on when we did it.
And then when I came on, they stopped wanting to come on anymore.
Yeah, I know. No,
Sorry.
I just got lazy. It was like you want to. Hey, you want to record?
So easy for us to just do one.
Yeah.
We don't need to get anybody on the horn.
Yeah, there's like times and time again where people will be like more scrolling on reels or something, being like, just you never know. They'll throw them in, you throw them and ask, and we've gotten a few that are like, oh shit, like is he very popular like movie influence? I go, oh, I talked to that guy once because I I put a literally posted a comment and a DM started. So maybe one day we'll get back to some guests. I feel like next time we need like we'll have a guest in May.
I was to say maybe a special guest coming up.
In May,
ooh,
and then we'll maybe a little
maybe that'll
refire the
boost
flames, and
yeah, there you go.
Put some give us a shot of a general.
In fairness, we tried to get Yusef to come on, but his baby got in the way. Keeps getting in the way.
I mean, if you have a baby, who cares?
Oh, it's my busy time of the year. Oh, I have a baby.
It's always his busy time of the year.
Sick of it. Anyway, what have you been watching lately, Joe? Anything?
Yeah, so since we last talked, I saw Undertone in theater. That's an audio horror
movie in
that's
the
a
theater.
podcast horror movie.
Look out.
Now,
I didn't see much about it, but it's something had to do with sound, right?
Yeah, it's all sound based in the sense of it's literally this. It's a woman and a guy, and it's only her. She's taking care of her like elderly mom who you don't see, and she runs a horror podcast. And it's like and she does her podcast like this, like through a audio recording of her buddy with her buddy who lives in like England or something. And their purpose of their podcast is they listen to like I think paranormal things, and she's honestly their podcast sounds pretty flimsy, but it's like, ooh, that sounds fake, and she's a skeptic and the guy's a believer.
Yeah.
And
it's like a ghost hunting show, but in audio
A
only form,
little
which makes it even
bit.
less
A
captivating.
little bit. Like there's true questions of like, I mean, we do it the way we do it, but like you got to get over that stuff. The movie itself is very does the suspense in his film creepy. I told some people to see it, but the people I told them like go see it, and I think it's gonna be effective. Just it's different than this, but like you know how like the only way to watch like Skinamarink was like turn off the lights, get rid of your cell phone. It has to be
You really
dark.
to immerse yourself
Immerse
in
yourself.
it, kind of, yeah.
I think even though this is more of a narrative, or this is a full narrative, that's what you want to do. And I told
That's
everyone that I wanted to watch, and why I want to bring it up is I know subtitles are really popular today. Avoid subtitles because I think the purpose of the movie is for you to like not understand some words and to have
yeah.
that volume cranked. And I think subtitles would affect that like scare.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah, I mean,
creepy.
underrated. A lot of times people put a lot of work into the sound
Hmm.
mixing of a film, especially something that's focused on this. Not to derail, but during my I always watch zombie movies over Easter, like many horror fans do,
It's a
and
wonderful tradition.
one that got in this year, and I don't know if we've talked about it before, was Pontypool. It came out. I
You
think it came out in
mentioned
like
it, yeah.
yeah, it came out in like 2008, and it's essentially it's adapted from a play, so it's kind of a
Mm,
bottle movie. It's about a radio DJ who is broadcasting during this zombie outbreak. But what you've come to find out is that the way that this kind of virus transmits is through words and through sound,
hmm.
not so much through sound, but through actual language. So it was an
That's cool.
similarly interesting way to go about it, and one of those movies that I kind of watched on a fluke and has become like I'd probably put it in my top 5 or 10 zombie
Yeah,
movies that I
I've
of
seen
all time. I like it.
I've seen a lot of lists. I gotta check it out one day.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
a
the
fun
only
movie.
other thing I would add, like about Undertone on that is, the dude who made it, is being tapped to, I think, reboot or like redo or whatever. They're gonna do Paranormal Activity.
Oh, okay.
Good hands because this is exact. It's felt the same
Oh,
without
like the
being
way it
found footage.
should.
Same exact vibe of hey, not much is happening. It's a corner peeker. Not much
Yeah.
happened. Boom, boom. Last 20 minutes, big.
Speaking of people who do a thing that is good and then get tapped to do something else, how do we feel about Lee Cronin's The Mummy getting ready to come out?
Interesting. It's such a weird. I can't tell what it's
I
gonna
I can't tell
be.
what it's going to be, and then all of a sudden it's like it's about a little girl, and then
Yeah.
and I saw a trailer that the little girl looked very much like an image from his Evil Dead movie, which was good,
Yeah.
but like I was like, this is weird. This is a weird, but again, I don't want to dismiss it out of hand because it could be very good,
Hmm.
and I'm not averse to them taking. But I was just like, I cannot get. I guess what I mean, why I wanted to ask you is because I also cannot get a bead on what it's gonna be.
I. It's like that, right? And they're only marketing as that. Like, here's a little girl mummy, and then
She's been
online
missing,
it's
but now she's in a sarcophagus.
yeah, and then online it's just been strictly Brendan Fraser isn't in Lee Cronenberg's The Mummy, and they're trying to make
Yeah,
that
that's
like
a different
work.
thing. It's not. We are gonna do that, but that's not this.
So it's weird. It's like Blumhouse has done a few of these Universal monsters, and like The Invisible Man was a great movie,
Invisible Man was good, but I think they stumbled a bit with Wolfman.
and I liked Wolfman more than most, but
I also liked
it
it
was
more than most,
still a
and I
more of
liked
a
that it was that they took a swing. It had like an angle on it. I like that.
yeah. I thought it was a good like
I've seen a lot of werewolf movies. You know what
and
I
once
mean? It's always
again.
cool to see something a little bit new.
And once again, it was one where for myself, like I'm always a little like buttered up if I sit in a movie theater to see something.
Absolutely, the theater experience definitely give
So
me a
like
little
that was a
glossy,
good theater
glossy review.
experience where I was like, yeah, and then you get out like, yeah, it wasn't perfect.
Yeah,
Especially like Lee Winnell has made just some really good movies.
right.
Um,
Like when you come off of Upgrade and Invisible Man, and then you're like, this is only okay.
was this doesn't really fit in, but was Voyage of the Last Demeter a Blumhouse?
I don't think so. I don't know
Oh.
who that might have been like a Universal. I'm not
Wasn't that
sure
the
who
dude who
made
did
that.
Autopsy of Jane Doe?
Yes,
Yeah.
that it was that director.
Um, so anyway, yeah, I don't know. I mean, like I said, I'll be there for the Mummy. I'll see it. I mean, the guy's made good movies.
Yeah.
Uh, I think I have a feeling it's marketing to kind of put a cap on this, especially saying with Evil Dead. I think they're trying to like tell us audience without telling us like it's gonna be gnarly. It's gonna lean into
Yeah.
it's gonna be gruesome.
Right. I think they want to. They're trying to get across that this is a horror movie, and
Because
the Mummy hasn't been a horror franchise in a long
I
time.
mean, when was the mum when the Universal Mummy come out? 40s, 50s, something like that.
Yeah, I think it's in the 30s actually.
Yeah, it's one of the harder things to adapt in a live action to be like, ooh, the
And
mummy's
even that
this thing's
original
scary.
Mummy, uh, you know, I hadn't seen, I hadn't watched it until I was an adult, or at least not that I
Mhm.
could remember. And it is not. It's much more of a kind of. It's got the like forlorn romance element
It's not a
of the. It's not a horror movie in the way you would think of. So this is kind of an all. I mean, obviously the Hammer did mummy movies. There's been mummy horror movies for sure, but
it's
like this is definitely
dead
probably
coming to
looking to
life.
be the scariest mummy movie.
Because yeah, that definitely fits. Because like let's be like you reinvent the mummy in the 90s and it's a swashbuckling adventure, and
Right. It's
that's
an
like a
Indiana Jones
perfect
knockoff,
it's a
basically. Yeah.
perfect way to do that, right?
Yeah.
Hey, Indiana Jones, but let's make it supernatural before
Yeah.
Kingdom of the Crystals.
Indiana Jones is supernatural. They're all supernatural.
I know, but no one thinks of them that way. And that's the issue with Crystal Skull and Dial of Destiny. No one thinks they're supernatural until they have to fucking watch one.
Yep. They always are.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a good question. I haven't given it much thought, so this was
No,
all
neither have I, but I keep seeing the trailer for it. And like, I mean, there was a time when, when Harrison was deep into his horror phase we'd have been at that for sure
mm,
opening weekend.
is
But
that this weekend?
I think so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's tonight, probably.
Um,
I
Real
keep
quick before we move on to Ugly Stepsister, I did want to shout out. I finally watched a movie that I know you liked. I finally got to see Primate. A movie I kind of knew I was going to love from the minute I heard about it. That I was just like,
I
if
was
they can execute on this premise, I will be. This is hog heaven for me.
I
I
was
love an animal
gonna
attack movie. I love practical effects. Like this is right in my wheelhouse.
I was going to suggest that for this week, and I was like, no, I feel like we've talked similarly recently. Dude, that's a fun ass movie. It was such a pleasant surprise.
Absolutely.
Because that isn't always at my warehouse.
Yeah.
Not done right. Like usually it's done goofy enough where I find myself getting bored.
Sure.
It was like, oh my God, they nailed the monkey in the
Yeah.
practical. The characters are not they're frustrating, but not frustrating enough where it makes it unwatchable.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And the ones you want to see get picked off.
Yeah, totally. And like I remember in the beginning I was thinking that they got to the pool too early, that they had that kind of home base
Hmm.
too soon, but they make it work. And then like I thought maybe there should have been some chase elements before that, but I think they paced it right. And then having
Oh
that come later all worked very well. Well, and also like you have him kind of like slowly closing in on them, like that that's not going to last forever. And they got the ticking clock of
no.
the girl who got
I
bit. So there's just a lot of good. They have a lot of good set
it's
pieces
good
to keep the
tension.
story moving and keep the tension high. And then I was listening to somebody talk about Primate, and they mentioned that the director's last movie was Resident Evil: Welcome to Raccoon City,
I did not
which
watch that.
was their reboot attempt on Resident Evil,
Mm,
which they are about to do again.
yes.
Um, uh,
Is
Zach
Res
Krieger's Zach Krieger's taken that over, I think.
was yes, he is. Is Welcome to Raccoon City? Wasn't that animated though?
No, that's you're thinking of one that came way earlier,
Oh, okay.
but there is one that's called Welcome to Raccoon City. 2021, I think maybe it came out.
Vaguely have an idea.
Yeah, absolutely serviceable and
Okay.
probably a better made movie than most of the old Resident Evil movies. I love the
I know you
Miyazaki
do.
Resident Evil franchise because they are just like some dumb action schlock.
Yeah,
They are so fun and stupid and like gory and just monsters, and that's
sure.
all fun for me. But I think this one got kind of buried, and I feel like it was pretty decent. And definitely some of the things that I saw in Primate, he was already doing in
Oh,
that. You know what I mean?
sick.
Like the directing is good.
Oh,
You know,
people like I'm glad to see that like Primate, meaning after I saw it and everything, was like
oh, Primate's gonna be a perfect streamer. It's gonna blow up on
it's people.
streaming.
Well, that big podcast, the Rewatchables or whatever, that but Bill Simmons, the sports guy.
Oh, okay, sure.
I don't follow him, but he was like, I saw a tweet pop into my timeline of like, right before I watched, so very recent, was like, I loved it. This was amazing, and like pushing it up. And I think that like reboosted its shit into mainstream because I forget that's
Oh,
like a
nice.
really popular pod. The one thing I want you to do with that, if you already have, and then we'll move on, Ugly Stepsister, is to get a laugh, look up just on Twitter, not even Letterboxd, like Primate, like the
Mhm.
movie. It would do it later, I would say, and read people's takes on it because they're so fucking insane. There was one I found, I might have retweeted it at one point, like with a quote tweet. Someone being like, "This was one of the worst things I've ever seen. I wish the filmmaker studied rabies and primates for a bit. Um, a monkey with rabies wouldn't laugh in revenge with, and it's like, you,
Like you do not understand the spirit of the film,
it's
man.
a, it's an evil animal movie.
Like me and Harrison are always talking about, like, do these people have no joy in their heart?
Yeah,
Can you
like,
not enjoy? Can
like
you not
I'm
enjoy
not,
film?
I'm not sitting here and going, you know what? I need to learn about rabies
Yes.
today. That's not the point. That's not primate's job.
No.
Christine's job isn't to teach you about the care of classic cars.
Right. Right.
Like,
Yeah, that's so dumb. It's like just
so just
that's
do
part
a.
of why movies got like they started to not get fun to get less fun to talk about online was because of stuff like that.
Mhm.
It's like we can't all agree to like suspend our disbelief to just like meet a movie on its own terms. Everybody's constantly like, well, I remember this movie isn't the perfect representation,
Well, I
or
remember like
it doesn't to go out of its way to point at the thing it's showing you and then go, this is bad. You know,
what
it's just
threw
like,
me, what threw me off. This has nothing to do with this. Just both you're saying people and this. Remember what threw me off of like even wanting to engage in like blue sky like movie discourse.
mhm.
Someone like replied like that movie Night Bitch that came out, which was fine.
Yeah, it was okay. It
Yeah,
was a little,
it was very
it was a
uneven.
little, what I would call obvious. You know what I
Yeah, it
mean?
was
It was like a little
obvious.
first. It felt like a little first thought. Like,
Yeah, it was uneven. I
yeah,
immediately had, or not immediately, I don't remember when it, but the response was like, "Well, you can't understand it because you're not a mother and a woman." And I was like, was responsive like, "No, no, I understand the point of the movie. I just think it could be better."
right. I'm like, I
Like
can still engage with art.
Amy Adams did a good job in the role in a movie that's mediocre to bad,
Yeah, that's what I would say.
and like it made me go,
Like she elevated the material, and what was there was kind of thin.
yeah, like almost so like." I mean, different concept, but like Rose Byrne and If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You is doing a better job at telling you what Night Bitch wanted to tell you about motherhood.
Sure. Yeah. There you go.
But like anyway, that was the time when I went, ah, yes, this is the internet. This is new internet and blue sky this time. I gotta get out of here. I can't be
Yeah.
fighting
You
with
know
these
what? I don't even
people.
want to get started here.
But yeah, I get it. But anyway, that was a fun thing. So like later, just like do yourself a
Yeah,
little
absolutely. I
quick
will
Twitter
look that
search of
up.
like primate movie or whatever, and there'll be just some nonsense people write, and it's really funny because it's silly. It's a silly fucking monkey movie.
Yeah.
Um, anyway,
I loved when he turned and laughed
it was
after
great.
it was
There's so
so
much
good.
head. We should cover it. There's so much head smashing in it.
Oh yeah, I love he finds his finishing move. Like we get to see him work out his finishing move. It's so good. Yeah, we're definitely that was. Let's give it a couple months though, and then we'll come
Uh,
back to it. You know, let's
yeah,
not
and just
rush it.
summer. I feel like it's a
Yeah,
good
we'll make it a
summer
summer
movie.
watch. Let's primate in the summertime.
Hey, you guys want to watch a
It's
movie
a
on the
pool
project?
movie. It's a pool movie, baby.
I got an outdoor projector. The
We're
neighbors
living
will
in
love
this
it.
we're living in this improbable Tony Stark mansion
What
because
is
I sell like John Grisham novels or something.
is that what he I was just yeah, I thought he was a
He's an
photographer.
author of like yeah, like kind of like schlock like airport novels. Like
Okay, that would
it's
get you that. But in
oh yeah,
Hawaii?
those are the most successful authors in the world. The people who write that shit,
But Hawaii's
James Patterson and stuff.
but like Hawaii doesn't just cost a lot to live. Hawaii costs like a lot to like function.
Yeah,
Like their
right.
day
You'd
to
be
day.
like in a house like that. You'd be beating back the jungle. Like you would have to fight the jungle. It'd be crawling in on your house all the time. Like anyway, we're talking about the here. We're not
Yeah,
here
we're
to talk
talking
about
about
Primate. That's a
another
little
movie.
preview of our upcoming Primate episode, which will probably
Get
happen.
ready. Um, so we just covered The Ugly Stepsister. That came out in 2025. It's a Norwegian film or
This was
yeah.
like it popped up on my Shutter, but you said it was on your radar because they had a effects an
Yes,
effects Oscar
so
nod.
it was a Shutter release, right? And but why it popped up in mine, and I hadn't sure it was a thing on Shutter way before. But for me, it was one, you know how this year of the Oscars, there was a little like burst of horror everywhere.
Oh yeah, this year was a big horror year
Um,
for you. Sure.
this one, it would be the first Shutter film to ever get an Oscar nom itself. It was nominated for Best Makeup and Hairstyling, and I was like, that's really cool. So it was on my radar. It was like something. I was like, oh, I'll get around to watching it. And we were discussing what to talk and to do. And my brother-in-law had just watched it. It's like, yeah, oh, that was really good. I really liked it, and you know. So I was like, oh, cool. Like, let let's try it. Let's get
Well,
that
and I
shut.
think, and I mentioned off air, but I thought it's always fun to do one that we're both coming in blind. You
Yeah,
know,
pretty blind.
no, nobody's got any experience with it, so you're just like, and we're coming in first thought and just kind of get to like roll with it and talk
Based
about it. And that's
based
fun.
off the
I like that.
name.
Not
uh,
something we always do.
Yeah. And based off the name, it was very much a minimum of like, all right, I know it's a Cinderella take,
Yeah,
but that's really all I knew.
yeah, and honestly, you don't need more than that going into it.
No, I know you're a really big fan, or I shouldn't say a fan. You have a bigger affinity of these like dark fairy tale
Yeah, we've
stories.
talked about like the Snow White, the
Yeah,
Monica
you like that
Keena,
Soul
Sigourney
White one,
Weaver Snow White. I mean, maybe
which
I'm just a Sigourney Weaver head, but
which is one because of you. I bought that DVD, and I have yet to actually like, I think I've like,
yeah.
I think it's like I'll save it for like Halloween time, and then I just forget it's
And then
on
you
the
just forget
shelf.
because you're filled up with stuff to watch it around Halloween time.
Yeah. Um, yeah, just that one. We both really like that Hansel and Gretel talking about from
Absolutely, the Witch Hunters. Yeah, Hansel and Gretel Witch Hunters. We liked.
oh
We both
no.
liked the other one. I
No,
like Hansel and Gretel Witch Hunters, but you're talking about Gretel and
I was
Hansel.
talking about Gretel
Yeah,
and Hansel, not Witch Hunters, not the Jeremy
I
Renner
love
one.
Witch Hunters. I think Witch Hunters is a blast. It's like a schlocky action horror kind of splatter movie. It's really
What's
fun.
what's the forgotten one? Like truly forgot the Brothers Grimm.
Oh yeah, with Matt Damon
He
and Heath Ledger.
yeah, what did like
Yeah,
that's forgotten. That's just
yeah, that kind of got swept away. That was not. Yeah, I don't even remember much about that one.
me neither.
But
I
I feel
remember the
like
leads.
the Hansel and Gretel like succeeded. The Hansel and Gretel Witch Hunters succeeded where Van Helsing failed. It like hit the tone that should have been Van Helsing.
Yeah, Van Helsing's a weird one. I think there's like people like give or take a few years my age where like they saw it at a great time. You just run into it every once in a while, but like, oh,
Yeah,
that movie was cool. I loved it. And you're like, it's very much a don't revisit it then because you were 12 and you have good opinions of it.
right, right. It had an idea. Like it was definitely a fun idea. Even at the time, I was like, "This is a great idea.
Yeah,
This is a blast.
that was
Why
like
would you not? This is a no brainer."
that
Like,
was like
but
when I it's in the same vein at that age or younger. Oh man, League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, that's a cool movie. And then a
right,
year later being like, that was a bad movie. Everyone was
yeah.
right.
Yeah, I held on to that one for like I lied to myself about it. That was a very early DVD bunker episode, and I had to like come to grips with how bad that movie
There
was.
was too many of those, I think, in our old show and Flyover.
Hmm.
That we did that for this show for so long, or so many movies and so long that there was a lot of those. Like I just need to come to terms with that this actually wasn't good.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but And there's some that are. There's some that surprise you, and you go, and that's the age-old question: was this good, or were you 12?
Yeah, they're not mutually exclusive, and sometimes you can look back on something that's not good and still get the nostalgia from being
Well,
12 and enjoy it
well,
still. You
this
don't
is
have
what
to let it go,
well,
you know.
this is the distinction I was about to make. When I say good in this vein, I also mean you enjoy
You
it like
still
you
enjoy, yeah.
like I could you could sit down and go, "Oh, I liked Batman and Robin earnestly as a youth because I was 8, I
Yeah.
was 8 years old." And I could sit down and go, "I'm enjoying this and I'm acknowledging it's bad and that's fine."
And I'm
But
getting camp value from
yeah,
this and
but
like
at eight
yeah.
years old, there's no camp value. It's just
No.
this is Batman on
Well, yeah,
screen.
and I think that's honestly a big thing of like there's people who don't understand that you can criticize a movie and like a movie at the same time, and like some people are they just don't get that
Oh,
you can be like that I can acknowledge something is very very bad and still watch it. Like honestly, most of the Halloween franchise is pretty bad, and I watch it every single year.
most like yeah, we were talking off screen a little bit about a horror we might be covering, and it's like they're mostly all pretty good, but any one of them I could watch.
Yeah,
Yeah, Halloween. I think Halloween's the big one because like there's Friday the 13th that I just can't get through.
yeah. See, I think Friday the 13th overall is a like had like but I think it's just more consistent than Halloween. It's not
Hmm.
that like it never has any there's no Friday the 13th movie that ever hits the highs of original Halloween, but like it's very like it always just kind of like maintains its levels. There's like a little dips here and there whereas Halloween swings wildly
That's
in
how I feel about
quality from film to film.
that's how I feel about Nightmare.
Yeah.
Just I could put anyone on the worst and enjoy myself with it, but
Yeah.
the pendulum is moving.
Yeah, absolutely.
Um, but yeah, so Ugly Stepsister. So that's kind of how we came about it. It's I think it's two things in this genre, right? It's a body horror and it's a black comedy. Like the
Yeah.
movie wants to be funny. Um, right off the bat, I will
And
say,
it's I would say it's mildly successful. I think horror comedy is really hard.
especially like we don't speak the language first, so I think comedy is the first
Right.
thing to go in a as a
But I do
non-native
think there are
speaker.
laughs here, and I think there is a lot of
I
like kind of like uncomfortable
I
humor
mean
too.
the
It's got that
biggest
cringe element to it.
yeah, the biggest laugh is obviously it was obvious to me at the end, more the ending,
Yeah.
and the mother is like, "Oh, you did the wrong one."
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. Well, and then like we'll get to it, but then the final when she falls down the steps and kind of like undoes everything is so
everything.
funny too.
So, just kind of kind of not run through the plot, but kind of set us up. It is The movie itself is Cinderella. So if you're familiar with the beats of Cinderella, that's kind of what we're going to go through. But it's from the
Yeah.
perspective of one of the stepsisters.
The eldest stepsister.
Yeah.
Their names in this version, you got Rebecca is the mother,
Mhm.
Elvira. I always
Mhm.
call her Elvira because
Elvira.
of
Yeah.
Elvira, Mistress of the Dark,
Yeah.
obviously.
Alma.
Alma is the younger sister who kind of like disappears from the movie for
As a
like the
letterbox,
last act or two.
there was a letterbox review was like, I think it was that. It was like, yo, why is the gay sister disappearing the whole time? And I'm like, I didn't even think of
Well,
that.
I do. We'll get into it. I think they do have a moment built into the movie to help you to help that to facilitate that.
But
But she does I still feel like she could have been in it more. And then Agnes is our Cinderella.
yeah, they call her Cinderella at one point.
Eventually they start calling her Cinderella when she's like once she's like a servant
And
basically.
that
And
made me go, does the story of Cinderella just exist in this world that they would come up with the term Cinderella?
yeah,
Um,
because like that has something to do with like doesn't it come from like her having ashes on her face from like
oh,
cleaning
was that
like
it?
cinders? I don't know. I really don't know.
I don't
Um
know the story that well. I mean, I know the story who doesn't know the story, but
sure. But I don't actually know the origin of the name Cinderella.
yeah.
Sound
So
off in the comments if you know the
oh,
name.
because we get those comments.
People are gonna already typing away, clickety clacking.
I'm just gonna write it
Um,
here. Origin.
but yeah, we like they kind of buzzsaw through the beats right at the very beginning of like the wedding you know, Agnes's dad is old. He marries Rebecca, the mom, promptly, literally dies at dinner.
Laughing, like throws cake at the and
Yeah.
and
Seems like a genuinely nice guy, and maybe had he lived, would have really brought the family together, you know?
yeah. Well, that's what we're, I think, made to like think. But like one thing with start off is that this oldest daughter, the ugly stepsister,
Mhm.
uh, Elvira. I'm gonna say Elvira. Sorry,
Yeah, we
we're
can call
just
her
gonna.
Elvira. I think it's fine.
She she is awkward and enamored immediately by Cinderella and the father, and is like,
Well, she's already got it. Like she's obsessed with the prince of
yeah, but
their kingdom.
she's taking on like she doesn't have her mother's negativeness. She's at first she's
Yeah,
taking on this new family. Or to me that was established early, like with
yeah,
like the way he threw cake at her and this and it, and then we learn I think pretty pretty quickly after that like this the mother had could care less for this husband.
yeah. She
And
married him for money, but oop, twist. They don't have any
they don't have
money.
any money.
Agnes and her dad were pulling the same scam and thought that Rebecca had money, which I thought was a fun twist on it. I was like, oh, that's cute. Because
Yeah.
I did always kind of wonder in original Cinderella, like, why do they need Cinderella to do the work? Because they're rich. They got a big castle and shit, you know? But if they actually only lived above their means and weren't rich, and that's why Cinderella has to do all the work, you know, that makes a
Hmm.
little bit of sense.
And so they do that. So they immediately she's gonna be called Cinderella this whole time, by the way.
Yeah, I
Agnes.
mean it's Agnes, but we can just go ahead and call her Cinderella.
Also, I got an answer on that. You were absolutely right. Cinderella comes from little Cinder Girl, little Ash Girl. So, anyway, uh, she does this, and there's this thing
Yeah,
on the ball, and the mother also, which is
right. We
so
find out, of course, there's a ball. Well, you
there's a
know,
ball,
the prince
and
is throwing a ball in 4 months for all the virgins of the land, and the virgin thing is important. That comes in play
yes,
later.
and the mother though, I think they point her evil stepmother. She's just letting her husband, her now ex-husband or widowed husband, whatever you want to call it, his corpse rot. No money for
No.
in a room. No money for a
No money for
funeral.
his burial. Agnes keeps asking about, or Cinderella keeps asking about it.
And
When are we gonna
Agnes
bury
is
Daddy? When are we going to bury Daddy?
yeah, and Agnes is kind of just slowly but surely being pushed into the servant and chore girl.
Well,
And
there's kind of a she. The movie does a good job of of building that slowly. I think like they obviously part of where the money is going, where Rebecca is spending money, is on Elvira and trying to make Elvira more
so,
presentable for this upcoming ball
well,
because she thinks the only way for them to get out of the problem they're in is for Elvira to marry maybe not the prince but somebody at
well,
this ball.
Elvira, and that was the goal, someone at this ball, right? And it's
Well, that's the goal
revealed
of the
later.
mom. Elvira wants the prince because she's already in love with him because of this. You know, you get the impression they put out this book of poetry of like from what we see of the prince, does he seem like a guy who writes fucking poetry? No,
No, he's not even that handsome.
it's like a mass produced kind of like like propaganda thing where they're like, look how sensitive your prince and brilliant your prince is, and
Yeah,
she's like totally bought in. You know, she just
she's
loves
bought
it.
in. I mean, she already has these medieval braces on when we meet her,
Yeah.
right?
But
Uh,
but it's funny. The first thing that happens is those come off, and her teeth look kind of good. And I was like, oh,
yeah.
that was easy. I thought we was going to be more of a to do about the braces, and that
Well,
part is gonna. But then we get right into the primitive
well,
plastic surgery.
it's like I think any of these stories like this, I don't get why they did it, and like they make the girl look awkward, but it's like, oh, there's nothing wrong with her. Oh, she's pretty.
They
She's
right
a
at the very beginning, like before she really starts her transformation, they do a scene where she looks at herself naked, and it's
Mhm.
clearly a body double because they want somebody with a little more on the plump side. But the
Yeah.
girl who they use is totally
But
attractive. You know what I mean? Like
even the body double,
she's a
even
little
the
thick, and when she sits down, does she have a little belly? Probably, but
but
like
even
you would never be like, oh, that's a fat girl right there.
no,
You
and
know what I
she's
mean?
cute. Like
Like,
her face is very
yeah,
cute, and like
yeah.
even the body double they use, you're like, that's not bad.
No, exactly. The quote unquote fatty body double is
Yeah.
not. You're just kind
So
of
like
like,
I
it's funny to
understand.
me that even in this movie about beauties, and I guess that's part of what they're trying to say.
Yes,
They're trying to make the point that there isn't anything wrong with her,
there
but
isn't. But she
but
is
I
the
guess at the same time, I was thinking that like this movie about beauty standards, but even they can't bring themselves to hire somebody who's not attractive, you know.
and I think that's some of the
But
point. But
I
I
will say, and I say this with love to these actresses. I like that in the finishing school when they make Elvira go to the back row, the other girls in the back row look like they belong in the back row. You know what I mean?
I know
Like
what you mean.
there was probably, let's just put it, we know how Hollywood works, and probably Danish Hollywood, whatever it's called, Danish wood. They had
Hey,
casting
Danish Wood was in
calls.
this.
Yeah, they they probably do a casting call where they sent out for unusual looking
Yeah.
actresses for this
No, no,
movie,
people
let's
know
say.
what they're in.
And I just want to say that maybe a lot of the girls who went on this casting audition got a role because they use a lot of unconventional looking girls here, so good for them.
And it comes
I
through.
hope they all booked the job.
Hey man, it comes through and ain't nothing wrong with it. But yeah. So yeah, the big goal of this is right to get Elvira like cosmetically ready for this ball, but it's not cosmetic, it is plastic surgery
Right.
for plastic
It's
surgery.
every, like they're doing,
It's literally
so they have the guy come in, and it looks like, I like the what I think is a so they know what they're doing here, where the nose break also feels a little bit like a primitive lobotomy, where
yeah.
they're like, where they do the tink, or they put the little
Ooh,
I
the
was like, but they break her nose, and I love her primal scream and then they wait her out, and then they do it again.
tough
Like
scenes
they
to
wait for her to
watch.
stop. Yeah, there are some very
The guy's like, shh,
brutal
shh, shh. And you're like,
body
you
horror
just
moments in
cracked your
this one, but
nose.
I would say too, this movie is good about not overdoing the gore and body horror to the
Mhm.
point where you become numb to it. It's like they wait long enough in between those scenes to like make them all, they always
Well,
count.
for 90% of the movie, it's just the plastic surgery, and
Yeah.
it's not every other scene isn't a, well, let me get another procedure. It's
Right. She has
it's
she gets the thing on her nose, and then she's wearing the little like
hmm
positioner, little, you can see it's got like little springs and pads that are supposed to like contour and hold her nose in place and like
yeah, and so they do
reshape it and
that.
stuff. But
Um,
it's another thing that makes her look weird. And then of course the let's just say it, cunty dance instructor at the finishing school um is calling her fat and wants her to lose weight. And the lady who is involved with her, and is she maybe the headmistress of the school or something, or just
mhm.
she
um,
kind of takes pity on her.
yeah, I
And
think she's like a headmistress is a
yeah,
good way to.
and I think she sees a little of herself. Maybe she was a bit of a, an awkward girl, and now
Uh,
she's grown up beautiful, and she sees something in Elvira. I love the idea that she gives her the locket, and she tells her, it's what's on the inside that counts. And then what she gives her is a tapeworm egg, and that's gonna go inside her and and like, but the idea of like, she doesn't mean it's on the what's on the inside that counts, but she's not talking about your personality. She means put this fucking worm in you.
and it'll take care of the business.
Yeah, and then that is what will happen.
And we're gonna see some gross shit later with that
And then
tapeworm.
later we will, oh man, I was waiting for that payoff for so long
It was
because they
good.
spend so much time. They build it up like a chest burster. You know what I mean? Like there's, and she's constantly, you're hearing the gurgling, so you're always kind of reminded of like she's hungry because it's in there, and then her hair's falling out and shit. Um
Um, but yeah,
I
so she does that, and I in between like all of this stuff too, and just want to jump to Cinderella's kind of thing real quick. We're learning like our Cinderella, who is not our in this movie our heroine, right? We just know this story of her.
Yeah,
She's not perfect. What I like is how she comes up and she's giving the ugly stepsister kind of like, you're gross. This prince doesn't want you. Like, Cinderella
yeah.
has her name and it's, or, she says like Agnes, the Duchess of blah, blah, blah. And then it's like, the stepsister who's supposed to be more affluent doesn't know that shit.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
She doesn't have a title, you know.
but also we learn Cinderella like isn't a virgin. She's
Right, yeah. Well, that's another thing that's happening. So, the kind of like Elvira is learning a little bit about the world at the same time as all this, and yeah, she. First of all, I didn't know we showed Hole in Denmark, but apparently we show Hole. I was very surprised about that. Um, First, she's out in the woods and she sees the prince out hunting, and she sees his butt, which is like, what? And it so enamors her that she doesn't even notice that he fucking calls her ugly. Like he does, she
just
just
like
does not care. She is just like laser focused on butt. Not to mention, like him and his boys are all talking like horrible, filthy shit,
yeah,
and just
she don't
being like
care.
total like assholes. And she does like none of it registers. She's just locked in. That's the love of her life. And then she goes promptly from seeing a butt to seeing a dick for the first time, which blows her
Let
mind.
me tell you this. We definitely budgets are a thing. They definitely use the same two prosthetic close-up dicks.
Yeah, that was what I was gonna say. I mean, I know why they use prosthetic dicks, because dicks are too unpredictable. You can't, you know what I mean? It's too tough to work with a real dick. So for movies that aren't porn, they love to use a prosthetic dick, which is fine. It's the
Yeah,
same from shot to shot. But yeah, a very I would say very obviously this was a fake dick, and the same fake dick later we see. They're
yeah. And
supposed
that
to be two
was
separate dicks.
that all we I'm going to talk about later because that kind of weirdly ties every motive together. And
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Yeah,
um,
well, we just see sex presented in two very different ways. One
yeah,
very transactional, and one very like kind of true and passionate. You
yeah. The
know.
Cinderella one is, or and then what we're seeing is like. Do this. I'm it's someone on the field with me. I don't mind it. This is where I'm living in here. You know what else? That's how I read it. And
And we have to assume out of like jealousy, she rats on it to her mom. You know,
yeah,
of
I think that's
course.
everything because this our ugly stepsister or evil stepsister, right? That's why wanted to make that point in the beginning of the movie of like she is like this. She is innocent and naive,
Yeah,
and is looking at all of this like, oh, this is lovely. I get sisters and I get this to a form of jealousy. You're naturally pretty. You're this. Things aren't going right for me. I'm losing my hair. I do this.
yeah.
I'm getting plastic surgeries and blah, 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 blah. We're like,
And everything comes so naturally for you. And now also I find out that you already have this like love in your life. You're already
mm-hmm,
getting the thing that I desire, you know.
yeah.
But that
So
is also the big turn. That's when she really becomes full Cinderella. The mom like shames her, and they pull her out of the finishing school, and she can't go to the ball because she's not a
mhm.
virgin and shit. And she really becomes the like Cinderella, the Disney Cinderella, where she's
And I
scrubbing
like,
floors and wearing a fucking like bandana and stuff.
yeah.
You know?
And I like, which is a bit later, quite a bit later, I really, really liked the scene and the creativity of our most supernatural Cinderella-ness to
Oh,
it.
sure,
Like
sure,
that
yeah.
was fun. Um,
Yeah, yeah. I wasn't sure how the movie was gonna, or if they were gonna engage with anything like that at all.
it
And
was
I like that they
cool.
did. It was just enough, just a little, some subtle touches. Um,
But yeah,
we do a quick, we do a time jump.
yeah, three
After
moves.
the whole thing with Agnes and and her getting basically banished, you know, we get a time jump. The nose thing comes off. The nose looks great, perfect nose.
This was the one, the surgery that did not make maybe this was style back then, meaning like supposed to be a lick of sense to me.
You talking about the sewn in eyelashes?
Yep. That
Yeah,
just I was like, what are we at first I was like, what are we doing? And then even the reveal after her recovery of the eyes was like,
yeah.
that was pointless.
Yeah, well, I think it's funny because it's the same plastic surgeon, and he you can see that his nurses have it done. They all have masks on, but you can
Hmm.
see that his nurses have the eyelashes, and they already look unnatural. They don't look even
Yeah.
like they don't even look like modern day false lashes. They look like they're very clumpy and spider leggy and
Well,
like weird.
he says, yeah, it's that yeah, it's things like if you've seen like women really achieve with like makeup in their eyelashes.
Yeah.
Um And he says when he's doing that, he's like, "Wow, you're looking so great. Next time, we'll put breast implant. We'll fix your breasts or something." And when I think of it, it's like, what the fuck does the medieval
Yeah, what does the
1800
medieval breast implant
like
look
what is that?
Yeah, I didn't think that was a thing at
Because
all.
he was like, "Oh, not Agnes or like, blah blah blah. My nurse has it done, and her
Yeah,
face is kind of fucked up in one eye, but her body's fine."
yeah.
So that's something we don't see, but it was one of them like,
Well,
that's a
another one of those, just like that. I thought with that whole thing with the nurse, it's like, we're just really like tying the pain and beauty thing here. There's
sure.
no, there's no beauty without suffering. That's kind of
Mhm.
what this, movies we're doing a lot of that.
I feel like this
But yeah,
movie,
that was the scene with that. That was very, again, we're like the body horror of them like literally sewing it into her
well,
eyelid and
for the
stuff. It's
body
very good stuff.
for the body horror, I feel like this had a lot of influences of that movie May.
Oh yeah, May's a great movie. I
Yeah,
love
May's
that.
really good. But this
Speaking of
there's
Frankenstein movies, that kind of like alt Frankenstein movies.
I know that's more of like this, not unknown, but like an indie, not as talked about
Yeah,
one. But there's a lot of
Angela Bettis
parallels.
head, shout out.
There's a lot of parallels to this to me.
Sure.
Um, just with the way of like more thanks to the body horror, and I guess both being like awkward women trying to achieve eh, motives in their own look and sexuality.
Sure. Oh,
Uh,
that's good, man. You're good. You
yeah.
should have a podcast.
Uh,
um, this while she's recovering from the eye thing, this is when the bit comes up with the sister Alma that I wanted to talk about.
hmm.
She gets her period. In the middle of the night, she wakes up, blood on the sheets, and they never really again like there's already been moments where she's argued with Elvira about you always do what mother says, and Elvira's like, what are you talking about? I want this. Like, I want to be beautiful and be married to she's like, she doesn't understand like this independent spirit or whatever. And I think without saying it, we're just meant to understand that Alma knows that if her mom finds out she's on her period,
She's done.
she's going to the ball, she's getting married off too. Like, she's like,
Hmm.
it's game over if my mom finds out about this. So I think she just kind of like retreats a little bit. We see later that she's doing a lot of the housework. She's like doing the stables and stuff and working honestly probably with Cinderella a lot. And I think the mom's just distracted and kind of is like not really noticing.
Hmm.
And I think she just flies under the radar because she knows that, like, so that scene where she can't see and they run into each other in the hall and she's got the sheets and because she's got something to hide also, I thought that was an interesting aspect of it, that like that she had the wherewithal to be like,
Yeah, the one sister
if I let once this other shoe drops, I'm done for. Like,
with one sister see like oh, no, there's so many puns in it, but she sees everything. She's just
yeah,
even though she's younger, it could see it all, is ready to go. Um, yeah, it's a good observation. It's because she really is like the movie clearly is doing it on purpose, but like forgotten to the story. Like it's like this. There's
right.
one
But
sister
I
that's
think it's purposeful. I think she's not. It's like the movie forgets her because the character in the movie is trying to be forgotten. She's high, she's in
yeah.
hiding.
I actually made sure to look it up because the two girls look so similar, like they could be real sisters. I looked it up to
The
make
younger one almost looked like a combination of so many different people that I couldn't quite like.
they're not, by the way.
It's like it's not right. It's not her because it couldn't be age wise or like whatever. But like, and they're Danish, so they're not anybody I'm familiar with. But I kept like every time she was on screen, I would kind of just do that thing of like, wait, she looks like, and then be like, it can't be her though. It's just a
No,
coincidence. Like,
I don't know any of these Danish women.
yeah.
Um, so yeah, and we're getting closer to the ball, right? And
Ooh, we get our introduction to the creepy dressmaker. This guy is gross.
ooh.
um, I like, okay, so he brings the dress. First of all, I love the way they like unceremoniously strip her in front of him. Like, she doesn't, they just like get her out of the bed and whip her clothes off before she even realizes anybody's in the room. Her mom just like, she's just such a piece of meat to her mother that, like, you know what I mean? And that obviously is going to come up in the end too. But, it's just so, it's like,
Oh,
it's, so,
it's
it's just like, there's no thought for it's just another way to show you that like nobody's concerned about what's going on with Elvira. Like she's
No,
just there to
no.
facilitate the next step.
Elvira's is not one thing we need to know. Well, we kind of did. She has her tape room, but they're also just feeding her a bowl of like broth with lemon in it. Like she's
Yeah,
not
everybody
eating.
else is eating a nice meal, and she gets like lemon broth, lemon water, and
And
shit.
she's clearly going insane.
Yeah, her hair. I
Right.
mean, she's. I
Was
don't think they've real. It's not until this scene they realize her hair's falling
well, I
out.
was saying
That's
it was
been
right before in
happening.
the bath, her hair's falling out,
Yeah, the
and
Cinderella notices it,
well,
but her
Cinderella
mom and
notices,
them don't notice it till they're doing the dress, the try it on the
and
dress.
she's like truly, I know it's the point of it. That might have been the grossest scene in the movie. It's not, but like eating pasta in a bath and it's
Oh
falling in,
yeah,
and
yeah. The because she has the tapeworm, she starts like doing the gross eating thing. She's like she's somehow both Demi Moore and Dennis Quaid from the Substance. She's doing both things.
but that's right before that scene, and that's good, and but um. They notice her hair falling out, and before the mother could like slit her throat, the weird dressmaker is like, "No, no, no! I got this wig.
Poof,
It's
a
perfect."
wig, boom.
And they're like, "Oh
Well,
my God, I can't believe we haven't thought of this yet."
so they bring in the dress, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, it's beautiful." First of all, I was like, "Oh, that dress is hideous. Like
Oh, it's
that's
an
an ugly
ugly
fucking dress."
dress.
But then what I realized that like is that when they actually go to the ball, it's just the colors are a lot more vibrant
It
than the
stands
other
out.
dressers. There's a lot of other dresses that I like that I thought were nicer personally,
Oh,
but they were so it was like so colorful to make her stand out, you
because
know.
the truth of this is at all, even with the surgeries and all of this, like in that ball, like unless you don't have that dress, whatever they do, she's never gonna stand out.
Yeah.
Like it, um.
But we also know her mom has because once Cinderella was out of the dance, she basically paid Agnes's or Elvira's way to be now the lead of the dance. So
Oh, how'd
like,
she get that? She was just so good.
yeah, it must just be because she's so good.
No.
Although the teacher is impressed with how much weight she's lost. She looks at her
Hmm.
little chin, she like grabs her little chin earlier, a little like double
Yeah,
chin, and
she
it's
put it.
gone. And she's like, she's like, I approve of your body dysmorphia.
Yes, please go to the front. You could you can't actually dance because you're so weak, but please
Yeah,
dance.
yeah, exactly. Like you're like your throat will
But
tapeworm. But
so she after this though, this scene and everything for the ball, she notices our Cinderella has a dress and in a fit of rage and just rips it and tries to,
we get a
ruin it for
classic
her.
Cinderella
Uh,
dress ripping scene, like
yeah,
straight out of Disney.
this is
Like it's
this
the
right now we're
and I mean very deliberately. I think the dress is the same color as
oh,
the
she's always
Disney
in that.
dress. It's that like
She's
light blue,
she's always
and
in that light blue, even when
yeah.
she's in her like maid's out, cleaning uniform, peasant uniform. But her dress is that. Yeah, it's yeah. Um, so that
But I
happened.
like that they got like again these little like Cinderella hallmarks that I thought were it's the woman who made the movies right. It's one of those auteur projects. She's writer director.
Uh-huh.
So probably just wanted to put in loved Cinderella, probably
Mhm.
grew up on fucking Disney Cinderella, wanted to get little nods to that
Well,
in, and she does.
and it's better for it.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely, absolutely. No,
and
it never distracted, or it never, and I never thought it felt like cheap.
yeah,
It was. But this leads to the scene that you were talking about, which is like our kind of our moment of fantasy, our moment of like supernatural
yeah.
kind of but
I
it's very like darkly European, you know what I mean? Like when like
it's
the
yeah,
films of Denmark. It's very Seventh Seal.
you're right, but it's dress is all torn. And this is when you do get like some sort of fairy godmother comes and literally gives you'll turn into a pumpkin at you have to leave
Well,
before
she's
midnight.
crying at the corpse of her father, who is
Yes.
still lying in there
And
rotting,
there's maggots around
not
him.
been and the maggots
Silkworms,
are
actually.
silkworms, and they repair her dress.
And I liked it. It was a nice scene where cause at
Yeah,
first, I went, oh, what are we gonna do with those? And you see the silk coming down and building the dress. And I'm like, That's a nice touch. That's
Yeah, it
a
was cool. And then, like you said, I wrote fairy godmother question mark quotations because it might be like a vision of her real mother, like who they
mm,
lost. 'Cause she talks about her dead mom earlier in the
then it
movie.
is. Then it is. I
I would
mean,
say it's probably meant to be that.
yeah, if you're bringing it up and it's not put and it's put in that
Right.
our context here, that's why. That's who it's supposed to be. I mean, as you said, she's literally crying over the corpse of her father, who she's the smells alone. That's why it
Oh
also
yeah.
doesn't make sense
Being
why.
would not be good.
That's why it also doesn't make sense why
Um.
our evil stepmother, uh, Brian, you're frozen. You're good.
Oh, am I?
We're back. We're good.
Am I back?
That's why it doesn't make sense our evil stepmother like also just leaves this body rotting because it's like you guys can smell that through the house. It's not that
Right.
big of a mansion.
You
It's
would
not
have to
that
take
big
it
of a
farther
castle.
away.
Um, so yeah, it says it right here in the Wikipedia actually because it's highlighted in blue. Visions of her birth mother.
There you go. Look
Um,
at that, and I didn't even need Wikipedia.
yeah,
I've
well,
seen movies.
I always have it up for
Oh
when we
no, of
talk.
course. Hey, I needed to confirm that I'm right.
But she does the whole thing, shoes, carriage into a pumpkin, this and that. Um, Very nicely done. I was surprised in a sense of like, oh, okay.
We see
Um,
her like she's getting ready to run away when she takes the dress. So we see her like pick up some baby shoes and put them in her pocket, and they've now become the slippers. Not
yeah,
not not glass, but like nice slippers. And
this is
and then we don't actually see her in her full garb till later at the
no,
day at the
because
dance.
again, that's why I think that scene's surprising in the sense of like this movie is for the Ugly Stepsister. We are really never in the POV. It never spends time in the POV of Cinderella. Even the things
Right.
you learn about
All the
her
stuff that we are
from the
thinking, all
side.
the magic, like we get a taste of it, but all the like magical change stuff is happening while we're at the dance with Elvira.
Uh, so Elvira's there and dance is going fine, and the guy finally notices her, right? And it's
Well,
gonna
she does.
happen.
We see the like little dance they've been practicing, which I think is that supposed to be a comedy beat too? Because I'm like, it's so silly and their little costumes are so dumb. I was like,
Probably.
why would you go from wearing that beautiful dress to like some dumb leotard with a leaf hat on, like a flower hat? Why would you just do the dance in your beautiful dress?
Probably, right?
I don't. I mean, it's fine. It made me laugh, but it
Um,
works. She basically finally gets the prince's attention. He chooses her at his day. They all stand, and we forgot to. I wanted to talk just for a second about when they first get to the dance and the way the women are just like presented with their stats. Like they come out and like a guy just like reads off their stats, and including like their weight and shit.
and their Prince Charming could be less interested in any
Oh
of
yeah,
this.
he's an aloof dick. And honestly, I like the way the movie doesn't bother to ever even try to portray him as nice or like or
No,
a good person. Like they're not interested in that at all.
no, because even the only time they don't even show him with anything, they show his like boys quipping every once and again about
Yeah.
like the women who are dancing around. Um, so yeah, they do that, falls, but then Cinderella in her veil
She's got
walks
her
in.
veil, she shows up, and like that's it for Elvira. Game
Oh,
over, man.
done. Never looking back.
Yeah. He spends the rest of the night dancing. He never even danced with anyone else, I don't think. And she, of course, is devastated. Goes out to puke up some disgusting eggs. And then comes back in and has to dance with a bunch of like lesser dudes, and her mom's basically trying to ply her off on somebody.
Yeah, and later that evening, she confronts Cinderella because she
Well,
runs
she's the
away.
only one who like realizes that Cinderella's Agnes.
Yeah.
This the godmother, fairy godmother, says that no one will recognize her, but they're dancing and her veil comes up, and she's like the only one who kind of sees her.
Uh-huh.
So yeah,
And she
she
loses her shoe.
yeah,
And
and the
now,
the prince declares that he's got the shoe and he's gonna look for the who can fit it. Cinderella stuff.
and now
So
we go
Elvira
to,
goes home to because she knows who's got the other shoe.
mhm. And now we go to though the what actually is in the like Grimm's fairy tale, right? Is it Grimm's?
Yeah,
Right? Yeah. What is in the Grimm's fairy tale of, well, at this point, Cinderella runs away, blah blah blah, and we do hear in the background while we first say all going on. oh, Prince Charming's there, and he's like, all right, get in, and they run off,
Yeah.
and uh, you know, Elvira takes a butcher to her feet, her toes, and
Well, yeah, she goes. Yeah, she goes and gets the
uh,
shoe, and she's gonna. She seems like she's gonna hack up Cinderella with the.
yes, and then well, the
She's
mother did forget. The mother walks in, she's fucking wasted and gonna bring a guy with a guy
right.
and
Well,
bring it
that's the
back.
thing. The mom has hooked up. She found her own money, dude, to like, and she kind of immediately lost interest in Elvira. She's like, you lost, you're done. You shot your shot. You failed. I'm
She
on to
looks and she just
I'm
goes.
on to this. She's like, don't fucking bother me.
She sees her with the cleaver and holding Agnes, and she just looks and goes, ah, leave it alone, and I gotta go fuck.
Yeah. Yeah, you like she well, basically essentially she's like you already lost, like it's over,
Hmm.
and but she's got the shoe, and Cinderella escapes, and she now first of all, I did want to complain just for a second that the
Hmm.
Ugly Stepsister poster on Shutter is it's spoiler poster.
They
It
all
shows
are.
the bloody foot in the shoe, and I'm like, I knew immediately that that's what they were gonna do
Hmm.
in the movie, and I was
The
bummed out
one,
about that.
the one I'm looking at now that's on Wiki isn't that exactly, but it's her
Yeah.
with the little thing, but in the
Uh,
foreground, not bloody shoe, but it's a shoe in front of her.
yeah,
Uh,
it's fine. I get it. They get
yeah, I think I'm gonna
shit.
stand for this. I think the other imagery that they only did in marketing is like literally her holding the nut, like doing the pose to cut off the toe, like
Oh,
that's
okay.
like that is what we were. That's all we were being
I
promoted
mean, I
at.
guess that's all what it's always been building up to, but I don't need that on the poster then. Like that's even more reason not to put it on there. But
Hmm.
either way, we get I her commitment is true. I can't believe they missed a note here. When he breaks her nose, he does the little un, deux, trois, bam, and
Hmm.
nails her. I couldn't believe she didn't do that when she hit
Oh,
her foe.
dude,
I
that would have
thought
been a
for
good little.
sure she was gonna do un, deux, trois, bam, and like nail it. Like I was so sure. Um,
That would have
she
been
does not get
good.
him off clean with one shot.
Nah, dude.
And I love this. This is like again. Sometimes I feel like I'm bringing too much to it, but the mom finds her, and I feel like the mom like respects the commitment. She's like, I was ready to give up on you, but you're really going for it.
Yeah,
Like she's like, so I'm gonna help you finish this up because you fucked up and did the wrong foot because you're a dumbass.
a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, there's like an element of the mom kind of like game recognizes game. Like I, as we're about to see in her final scene, like am debasing myself in ways, and you too have sacrificed,
Th-
and I appreciate that. Like,
this is yeah, it seems almost like that, and she's also like, well, you can't be a unsymmet you have to be symmetrical.
yeah,
So
she's like, well, and
uh
again, she did the wrong foot. She did the
I
foot for the shoe she has, not the shoe that the prince
I
has.
know. It was I also there's just a thought, and once again, this is the thing that's in the story where it's like, Cinderella's really gruesome. It's like shit like this.
Yeah,
If I'm Prince Charming and you give me your foot, this nice, dainty, and it's just a stub with no toes, I'm going, no, thank you.
yeah,
Get out of my.
that's sketch. I
This
don't
ain't
like
gonna
that.
work.
Yeah, there was no way she was gonna for how soon the prince gets there. She was
Yeah.
never gonna be ready.
No, it's a
Like,
point of desperation.
yeah,
It's just
but I
like,
do love that like she passes out from the pain and has her like big fantasy moment. Like we get to see like what could have been, what she thinks could
she
have
has
been.
just twice. We have like one or two of those at the movie, and you're final like, he came to save me, and I'm in the pink, the blue gown, and I'm dancing, and my family is going, oh, amazing.
Yeah, and my family and the servants, they're all like, yay.
So, um, so it was the mother, yeah, the chops off the other toes fur.
Yeah. And so she wakes up to both her feet
Like I
bandaged and
said, I
bloodied.
do really like the fact on Cinderella's story, it's just wrapped up in like background audio of like,
Right. We hear basically what we saw in Alma's fantasy, we hear happening for
yeah,
Cinderella.
he's like,
Like
ah,
in
great,
reality.
gotcha, go.
Yeah.
Pretty blonde girl. Let's go. Who cares you're a farm
And
girl?
Elvira like drags herself out of bed. She can't walk, obviously, so she's like dragging herself across the floor. She falls down the steps and smashes her face and
Teeth,
breaks her nose, busts her teeth, undoes
feet,
all the good work.
hair. I mean, everything. And she's like, now she's essentially not just in the face, her body and because of the way her toes are, or no toes, a hunchback that has to crawl on all fours.
Yeah, yeah. And
Um,
then we finally get the tapeworm payoff, which I felt like I was worried they weren't gonna do.
mhm. Yeah, her sister makes her take the antidote. It's
Well,
like,
her sister finally, like when she's all busted up the bottom of the stairs, is when Alma finally returns and sees her,
mhm,
and is like, and does give her that like, tried to warn you, bitch.
mhm. But
But she
uh,
loves her sister and she still wants to help her, so she makes her take the antidote. Oh, it's so gross. The
oh,
when
it's
the
just it's this like
when she's puking and it first starts to wiggle out, and then Alma grabs it and is pulling it and
it's so
just
well done. It's
endlessly. It's
so well
very
done.
gross. And I kept waiting for them to kind of I don't know, for it to like get fatter, but it always looks like that same kind of spindly worm, and it somehow makes it even worse. It comes out in like a big knot at one
Hmm.
point. It's really heinous.
Gets out, and
Yeah.
now we get a brief little jump, not really a jump, and Alma in the middle of the night is like, just come with me. We're gonna go. We're gonna leave
Yeah.
this. We're gonna leave mother and
She
everything.
steals, yeah, she steals a little bit from mom just to get him on the road, and she sees her mother debasing herself for this
Yeah,
man.
it's I that was felt like the last kind of sh like I say shock because you don't normally like,
Yeah.
she's going to I have a young man and the mother
The guy
seems
she
like
picked up the ball, whoever it is, and
it's
she's
her new
doing what she needs to do
it's her
to
new
secure the bag, if it as it
it's her new
were.
cash cow and she clearly sees her daughter and just goes, oh
Yeah, she's like, well, this is what I got to do. You do what you got to do, kind of like.
well I there was the one scene I like not because of what it was doing I like looked away for a second and I rewound it back to make sure I she was blowing him. She was
Yeah,
doing what I thought she was doing, but I
sure.
was like, let me just make sure this scene is this because it was like I just saw the
Yeah,
top of the head. So I literally was the time I went back 10 seconds to go, okay, this is exactly what I thought this scene was going.
yeah.
Um, so yeah,
Well,
I
and I
mean,
also think it's there to like cement in for Alma, like, yeah, I definitely need to get the fuck out of here.
yeah,
Like,
she's the
this is
mother.
not what my life is gonna be. Like,
Yeah, I mean, oh, her life at the moment is also just going to be taking care of her now disabled sister.
yeah. I another little like kind of cute moment of comedy right at the very end where she's doing the wheelbarrow, like she's like wheelbarrowing her down the steps because she can't walk.
Yeah.
It's silly, but it's just funny to me. And
Um,
but weirdly at the end, we see Elvira and almost even though her nose now is just like got a fucking Z in it and she's balding and her teeth are all mangled again, she somehow looks more contented than we've ever seen her in the rest of the movie.
wow,
She
she
kind
got
of is
nothing
back
else.
to that kind of look of innocence that she has in the excuse me in the carriage at the very beginning. We kind of first introduced her reading her
Hey,
poems and
I'm like,
looking out the window of the carriage very innocently. And I feel like they almost get her back to that despite how hideous.
kinda. I mean,
It's
if sh
the idea being obviously that she was ugly when she was beautiful, and now she's
yes,
back to being her true self, which is
yeah,
what is beautiful.
and I'm using air quotes here, and the moral is, yeah, if she just stayed that girl at the beginning of the thing, even with just kind of the braces,
Yeah.
she would have probably lived a happy, fine life with just like a
She probably would
shitty
have married
mother.
some schlub with a little bit of money from the ball and been just fine.
Yeah. Like you didn't, I guess the moral of the story is like you don't need to do all of this, but also at the same time, this is not everyone's perfect, but if you're true to yourself, you'll be fine, right? That's
Yeah, but
uh
it's almost like the a butterfly story in reverse, where she had to like go from being beautiful back to being ugly to find
mhm,
to be herself, to be
yeah.
happy.
It's
Um,
interesting. It's just an interesting take. It's cool. You know,
Yeah, and well made, and like
I
again, cool, a female auteur who like writes and directs her own. That's always
I think
awesome, good for
it's
her. And like,
I like I said, I think it's really interesting, other than the Shutter thing, how it became like a movie like this, a small budget 4 million. I mean, does well with like five, it makes 5.6 million. I feel like for a movie like this, that's a lot.
oh yeah,
Um, but it to break its way in and then to break into something, I know like awards don't mean anything, but to break its way into being like you got recognized for an Academy Award and you were a small Denmark movie. Like you weren't like Godzilla minus one who like won it, but there was a lot of buzz around Godzilla
yeah, and
minus.
Godzilla minus one got a big American release
Yeah.
too. Like it came
Um,
to theaters here. Like
so I thought it was really cool because like I said, I went to go scroll down on this thing and I'm like, oh, it was only in a handful. Like it was a Sundance movie, which
yeah,
makes sense, but like you think it would have this big list of like it was in this festival and this festival and this. No, it was in literally like a Berlin festival, Boston festival, won a couple chainsaw award. No, won one chainsaw award for best first feature. Makes sense.
nice. Yeah.
This is one of those ones you go, oh, can't wait to see what she does next.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
And then truly like three other things. So I don't know. That's always really cool to me. But yeah, and then short ending shots very kitschy in the sense of uh, it's a raven. It's two ravens pecking at the tapeworm.
Yeah, on the ground, which is
And the
fun.
end says slut.
Yeah, which is Danish for for the end.
Yeah.
I've heard that before. I forget what I was watching that somebody was like, "And look, this is what it says for the end." Slut.
But I feel like this was like it was like purposefully
Well, yeah,
no.
they know. I think they're in on the joke this time. I think
Yeah.
that's always been something that could pop up at the end of your Danish movie, and it would be funny for people like us. But they are now in on the joke this time. I
Yes.
think. Like,
Have to be. Because there were certain elements of this movie where they chose to put title cards up,
yeah, sure.
and I was like, oh, this didn't seem expected right now because it was a very movie. But I thought it was a good poll. Meaning, like I thought it was different for us to
Yeah.
do. I liked it. I didn't love it. I will say that, but like
No, I mean it's not something I'll probably watch
I
again,
like parts of
but
it a
it was like
lot.
a solid three and a half
And we gave it the same
star. You
thing,
know,
three and a
yeah.
half. There were parts of it I absolutely was like, that's great. I like what they're doing there.
The lead
Like,
and the girl who plays Elvira does great. You know,
yeah.
anytime you have a lead performance like that where you're like so much is of it is hanging on you, you know, she
Mhm.
does a good job.
Like most shit like this, though, I would say, it's not shit, but like, um, the first like 25 minutes, I did think, what are we doing here? What am I watching this for? And then I was thankfully on board and satisfied.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. I don't know. Got any other thoughts about the movie? Speaking of Seth, I'm pretty good with it. I
Yeah,
got
no, no. I
nothing real
think we've
sad.
gone. I think we went over basically anything I want to talk
Um,
about. Um, yeah,
but
it was like I said, I had a good time with it. I think it had, you know, it had some good practical effects. It definitely, I think, makeup and hair and probably
sure.
earned its place there. And you know, like I said, if anything, at least it got some recognition and more people will watch it. It's definitely as far as what's on Shutter. I mean, it's definitely got upper
Oh,
echelon for a Shutter movie.
Shutter.
It's very good.
Shutter
Oh, I
lucked
did
out.
want to shout out, and I think I did this last week, but if you're already on Shutter and you're watching The Ugly Stepsister, The Vordelak is on there, and man, is
You
that a
did say
fun
this
one.
last time. Gotta check it out. I know. I feel like we gotta take advantage. Oh, another Shutter shout out here. We gotta take advantage of this while this app's still running.
I know
Finally,
it may not last forever.
I read for the first time. Uh, and I hope it's in HD, but if it's not, it doesn't matter. The HBO Tales from the Crypt, unedited, will be coming to Shudder. I read tonight at some point in the next like month or so.
Oh yeah, that's
That's
awesome.
huge. If you didn't, I could talk about this. I could talk about this for an hour, and I won't. Tales from the Crypt has been in like rights hell in streaming world for literally the long. I'm literally looking at the Crypt Keeper right now in front of me. He's always looking at me. Uh, Forever.
Yeah.
It's why it's not on HBO. It's why it's not
Yeah,
even
which is
available to
weird.
buy.
Why I never I don't know what the
I think it's just those like 90s like
It
rights
had well,
issue.
the thing is, it had a lot of heavy hitting producers attached to it when it
Oh,
kind of
all
got
those Zemeckis
started.
guys that uses
Right.
music
So a lot of those people
sometimes.
have probably had pretty like tight contracts on that
I think it's
stuff.
all that stuff. I mean, and that's all, like I said, I could kind of talk about it for a while. It's,
Yeah.
even with the name, like it almost got off the ground with like in like 2007 or something or six. M. Night Shyamalan was going to have a whole hour or 2 hours on USA Network, and one of those hours was going to be his Tales from the Crypt. There's a teaser you could watch on USA, like on YouTube. It's a pretty sick teaser.
Yeah.
That went belly up like in like the ninth hour. There's like a couple
Yeah.
articles about it. But it's just been in rights hell. That's all I've ever really read. It
Yeah.
was kind of similar if you want to compare it to HBO. Even though this is on streaming, it doesn't have an HD remaster. It should. Like the Larry Sanders Show was similar in the way of
Yeah.
like it took a lot to get it to streaming. So to read that news tonight that like Shudder's gonna have it, it's like, oh, it doesn't matter if I have all the DVDs, but like it's like, oh, it doesn't matter if it's HD. It would be really cool if somehow they secured like upgraded those because they're only
Yeah, that'd
like
be rad.
the DVDs are only like or like barely
Yeah.
520. They're not even like a 720.
Yeah.
I watch them
You
all
might
the
as well
time.
be watching them on a tube TV.
Yeah, I watch them all the time, regardless. But
Oh yeah.
so fingers crossed, what I read is real. I think Bloody Disgusting put it out, the
Yeah,
tweet out.
that'd
So
be awesome. I hope so.
so maybe I'll look out for that, and we'll have them for like I think probably only a few months on Shutter. So it's one of those things of like, but they're there. That means they're available.
Oh yeah.
All right, I'm just gonna end this. We both like the movie. Watch Ugly Stepsister. Enjoy Shutter, and as always, stay frightful, everyone. Bye.